All right, let's talk about digital marketing manager systems that actually benefit you greatly in terms of helping you out. The first one is Slack. Now, Slack is not that helpful in my view. As a marketing manager, it is a terrible system to be notified on things on what to do. Unfortunately, I have a habit of doing that to my team. And the reason why it's horrible in my view is because it's so easy to lose something, to lose a task in there. And then you're going through a million different groups or direct messages. You can't remember exactly where it is. You even use the search bar to try to figure it out, and it's often not super helpful. So Slack, I like to use for quick communication or a quick good job, or like, hey, could you look at this real quick? Things like that. I don't ever try to creating a brand new project from Slack because I feel like that's going to be destined for failure. But Slack is still a fantastic tool in terms of instant communication and remaining a relationship with your people. I view it as kind of like the instant messenger of the professional workforce. Like, you remember back in the day, well, maybe if you're old like me, or old-ish, I'm not old, YouTube. Anyways, if you remember back in the day, MSN Messenger, that was like all the rage when I was in high school to communicate with people. Slack is kind of like that to me. I think it's a good tool, it's useful, but for anything meaningful, I take that to a project management software that tracks, records everything, keeps everything just clear of what to do, and I keep that updated. In fact, I try to be so religious about that if someone of my team members sends me something like, hey, what do you think about us doing this? I'll say, put it in our project management system and I'll give it a look at it. I pretend like it doesn't even exist unless it's in the project management system. And that probably annoys some of my team, but trust me, as a marketing manager, you need this. The project management tool is your brain. You want to keep it organized to allow you, who are probably creative, therefore unorganized, to have the best chance at success with both your project management time, but also your own creative output. So you got to manage that. You can make the project management software your brain. The next is not software at all, but holding a weekly meeting. We do a weekly meeting with my team where the heads of the departments, the heads of the marketing team at least, all get together. And then the content manager also has her own team specifically for our content creators for their weekly meeting to talk about anything that they need to talk about. This is a great time to collaborate, discuss wins, discuss things that we're struggling with, or to bring on experts to educate the team on certain aspects. And of course, to keep everyone abreast of company news and what's happening, news and updates. Is there anything we can do to help sales in this specific situation? Or vetting is curious if we can update this onboarding article, all that kind of stuff, right? The next thing is doing one-on-ones. If you don't know what a one-on-one is, basically all it means is that you as a manager meet with each one of your directs. So someone that works for you directly underneath you, at least once in a given time period. Some people do weekly, some people do every 2 weeks. I'm a fan of doing it weekly, especially in marketing, because things change so very often and dramatically sometimes in our field that I think staying more close to them makes more sense. Also, tell me what you did 10 days ago in the comment. You're probably not going to remember, right? like it's so easy to forget what we did because it's not like we're keeping a daily diary of every task. Well, okay, some of you might be, but most of us aren't, right? So we don't really remember. So if you do it once every 2 weeks, you're missing effectively like over 50% of what they accomplish, right? Plus there's always new things you want to discuss with them to see what is going on that you can help them in their team. So I recommend weekly. The next thing is doing annual and quarterly goals. This is something we do company-wide. It's not just a marketing thing, but it's super, super useful. So you create annual goals of what you want, and then you create quarterly goals that build into those annual goals. Now, every quarter, you're going to have some goals that don't relate to the annual goals, and that's okay. Just make sure you still have some quarterly goals, still hit all the annual goals you set for yourself, and those extra goals that you have are fine, right? That just happens. Another thing that happens very often in marketing is there will be an opportunity that comes up, say it's like 2 months into the quarter. Instead of having to wait, you pounce on it. Like instead of waiting for, I'll wait till this is a new quarterly goal, you just pounce on it and you go at it. Now you can only do that for a finite amount of things before you start burning out your team. So choose carefully. Sometimes it's better to wait, sometimes it's better to pounce. But if you pounce, you can always add that as another goal that was added to your list that you completed. That's something that happens all the time with us where, we start off with the quarterly goals and then there's a big chunk of random stuff that's super valuable that we ended up doing too throughout the quarter. So that's another tool in your war chest. All right, here's another thing you can do as a digital marketing manager to really free up the potential, or as an entrepreneur, to free up the potential of your team. And that is to give them freedom, but restricted freedom. Because again, creatives are like cats. We're going all over the place all the time. And if you give us complete freedom, we're not going to do a very good job typically, because there's just too much endless possibility to pursue, right? The never-ending slush pile over here. So what we want to do is give our team fences. So what I mean by that is they are inside this fence. They can go anywhere within the confines of this fence, but they cannot go outside of it. A common way I do this is by creating a content theme. So this quarter, we're talking about bolt-on wealth, talking about how by acquiring other businesses, 2 + 2 can equal 18 for your business by using it as a marketing channel. I should have a video on the YouTube channel here soon talking about that, so subscribe if you haven't. It might already be out, by the way, but still subscribe. But what this does is it allows them to create content all about this idea, this general theme, but nothing outside of it, you know? Like, if we're talking about bolt-on acquisitions, let's not talk about skis. Back to skis. If you saw me in another video, I did a whole video using the ski analogy. Anyhow, but yeah, so you let them move within the confines of this fence you built, and that gives them the autonomy that creatives highly desire and honestly, I think need. If you micromanage them, you kind of kill their creativity and they're going to be less effective in my view, but it gives them the freedom with the comfortable restrictions so they don't get lost on the road of endless possibilities. And the other thing it does is it actually increases their creative potency, because when you restrict creativity, it is forced to think in a different way, and it has to come up with the solution. And it may never have come up with that good solution if it hadn't been confined in the first place in some shape or form, right? It's confining my creators. Like, we're not putting them in prison, right? It's a very friendly fence. Anyhow, so that is a super powerful strategy to really unleash your marketing team's creativity. So as you can see, there's a lot that goes into being a digital marketing manager. It is one of the most overwhelming, rewarding, high powerful jobs you can ever have, or as an entrepreneur, it can be the most important function that you ever do in your business. More important than really anything, because without good marketing, you're probably not going to sell much. And a lot of people shy away from it because when they start, they're really bad at it. I was too. Everyone is. I'm still really bad at several functions of it, right? Because marketing is complicated. It's always changing and it's dynamic. But hopefully this video helped you when it comes to being a digital marketing manager or an entrepreneur managing their own marketing team. See you in the next one. And of course, watch this video 50 times for the YouTube algorithm. Smash that like button. Talk to you soon. Bye.